I asked you to send over your portfolios. I looked at them, made some notes, and now we're going to look at them together. First up, we have Plated Media. This is Benjamin McNaney's production company. From the landing page, I love it. From the off bat, it looks friendly yet professional. We've got a nice color scheme going on here. We've got an off-white background. We've got black and orange, which some of you will know what I mean here, and that's probably a difficult thing to match without looking like something else. There's no cliche catchphrase here like converting clicks into customers. There's multiple different taglines here, all appearing in the same space. It's engaging, it gets the message across, and what I love here is you always know where to look. As soon as I scroll down, I met with a carousel here. This heading appears at the top, and I'm going to get back to that later because the call me and beat me thing I think are really interesting. I really love what he's done with them. This carousel here is also really nice. If you hover over it, it pauses. And then as soon as you hover over one of their profile pictures, it takes you to a link to their page. I think it's a really neat touch. I think it's a really good way of conveying all the people that you've worked with without taking up too much space, and it's engaging. It's also great because you get recognizable brand images of these people, and once again we've got an arrow telling us to scroll down further, and if you do, look how smooth these videos pop in. This is great because it's a reflection of their work as an editor. This is smooth, it's well thought through, it's laid out nicely. That's probably like the 3 things that you want when you're hiring an editor. Another nice touch here is as soon as you hover over it, you get the content creator's name, their sub count, and you get 3 tags on what sort of video this is. I really like this. You can tell sort of from the thumbnail if you're familiar with it anyway, it's commentary, but here, look, you're going long form educational talking head. This is great because if your client is looking for stuff, you're saving them the hassle of looking at a commentary video and going, he's not for me. They're going to go to this Tim Gabe one, it's educational. Oh, I'm going to watch this one now. For me, I think this means that Plated Media is maximizing their chances of getting checked out and hired by the right people. Plated Media have set out a precedent from the off bat. I'm not going to waste your time. If you're looking for a commentary, something more traditional YouTubey, you check these videos out. If you're looking for something maybe with more motion graphics, maybe something more serious, more educational, you check out this Tim Gabe video or this one down below as well. My only note here would be that maybe Plated Media is in their infancy a bit, which would explain why there's sort of 3 videos from the same creator. These all feel very similar. If you're going to showcase 6 videos, I'd try and have more variance in them. But look, that could be a matter of circumstance, and as they grow their company, they're going to get more clients. Nevertheless, it's a great portfolio, and the more you scroll down, you get all the links to their socials, but you do not want to click this. You've got the call me, beat me buttons here again, and they're the things that you want to be paying attention to. I really, really like this touch. I've not seen this on any portfolio before. When you press beat me, at the time of recording, it doesn't take you to where it needs to take you. Before the new Twitter DM came out, you'd press this beat me button, and it would immediately take you to a DM conversation with Benjamin, which I thought was a really neat touch. It's quick, it's efficient. It was also really good because you got to check out more of his work on his Twitter profile. I'm not calling it X, I refuse to call it X. I'll let Benjamin know about that because it was a really cool feature and you sort of need to stay on top of these things. There's another portfolio in the future as well, which is not kept up to date with it, and there's a slight problem with it, but this will not be out of date. If you press the call me button, it takes you straight to a calendar call with him. This is brilliant. You can schedule in a Google Meet anytime, any day that you want with him. Why is this good? 1, this is professional. Plated Media's site here, this is for a business. They are a production company. They're not just a freelancer, so having this sort of thing sets the precedent. 2, it's time efficient. There's no contacting to schedule a call. It's there right away. Benjamin and Plated Media have done the thinking there for you. They've cut out the middleman. And thirdly, this is really strong because it makes Plated Media appear like they're in demand. You have to book in a call. If you want to speak with me, let's do this the proper way. This is the portfolio equivalent of going like, let me check with my secretary for when we have a free time to chat. This is such a neat feature. So yeah, to summarize Plated Media's site, I think overall you're going to struggle to get a portfolio much better than this. It's professional, yet friendly, well designed, well thought through. The only note would be fix that beat me button. Maybe add a bit more variance in the examples of work here, but that's it. All right, next we switch over to the portfolio of Marley Swarbrick. He's a very creative person, as you can tell from this landing page. We have hand-drawn illustrations, we have graphic design, we have a product that he's done, we have mock-ups, and as soon as you scroll down, look at that. That is lovely. It's well thought through. It's smooth. And we scroll down into a little about me section. And I think for a personal portfolio, that's really valuable. Plated Media, that was a business site. Whereas I think if you're an individual, a freelancer doing a portfolio, you're selling yourself a bit more, and not in the weird way. But I think that creators value working with creative people and having that connection, especially people who want to grow together. And look here, we've got a photo of Marley and we've got a brief description about him. It explains what he does. He's a storyteller, graphic designer, says where he's based in Edinburgh. Then lists his skills: video editing, illustration, motion graphics, with experience in content creation, animation, copywriting, UI and UX design. That's a lot, but it's also really cool. You almost don't want to shorthand or summarize those skills because they're insanely valuable and cool. And I'm looking at that as a potential client and I'm like, okay, this guy knows his stuff. He's a very varied creative person. And the tagline I think is really nice. It gets to the point. It's probably one of my favorite taglines that I've read. I use my skills in a unique way to tell stories. Yeah, the paragraph before that backs that up. I'm sure it is a unique way if you can combine this skill with that skill and your experiences in that field and experiences in that field. Yeah, I'm sure you can combine them in a unique way to tell stories. It doesn't feel generic, it feels personal, and that's another thing that makes this portfolio feel even more personal to Marley. The only thing I would say is everything's branded really nicely with this sort of mustard and black thing. The contact links don't feel obvious enough. We want people to look at this and get into contact. We want them to email, we want them to check out his LinkedIn, and we want them to check out his Instagram. Plated Media had a beat me and a call me thing on a site that feels very obvious. It feels very colourful, it feels blocky. Yeah, for a website like that, I'd say the most important part in a way is the least obvious, but it's only a small little thing, easy to fix. And as you scroll down, he's separated each of his skills into different tabs, which I think is really good because a cluttered portfolio is the worst type of portfolio. Obviously, we're going to go on to video editing, and immediately you know timeframes, you know companies that he's worked for, what they do, quick preview on the left and a summary on the right. Now, as for the preview, a bit of a problem here. He's turned it into a GIF so that it's safer and more compatible and loads quicker for his website, which I understand it's actually quite a smart thing to do. The only downside is that it loops the content and really compresses it and gives it that sort of memey, deep fried look. Not intentional, I'm sure. If I'm a client looking at it this though, and I scroll down and once again I see something looped, sort of crispy looking, compressed, I might be going, is this his style? Is it supposed to look like this? Maybe a bit of a turn off. It doesn't preview the work in the best way that it could. I just think there's a better way of showcasing the work, because if you scroll down further, look, this is really high quality. If Marley can find a way to match the quality that's on display for this Isaac Anderson project for the rest here, awesome. I like the fact that I'm not getting overwhelmed by loads of different videos and sounds. But anyway, that's enough complaining, because the next bit I think is really good. We've got the description here and it tells me more than looking at a video ever will. All right, let me read you this. I edited videos for Cam Kirkham for his reaction channel at its inception, amassing more than 100,000 subscribers and 1 million plus views working for him. If I'm a potential client, what might that tell me about my experience working with Marley potentially? Well, it tells me he's more than an editor because he understands the process of growing something from nothing into something successful. It tells me he's a good communicator because you can't grow without being a good communicator and a good team player. It also tells me he's a hard worker because it's really difficult to get something off the ground and turn it into that. So I'm seeing that, I'm reading that, and I'm like, brilliant. So yeah, that's Marley's portfolio. I really like it. I think it's good. There's just a few things I think could be improved upon, but look, it's a great portfolio. It's really stylized. It's a great showcase of his wider creative side, and I think that's really good for a personal portfolio. Our next portfolio is from Nicole Potts, a friend of mine who I just know through like video editing communities. Really talented editor. What does this landing page tell me about Nicole? Sort of darker colors and purples makes me think probably quite good at motion graphics. It feels up to date. It feels with the times, which I think is really valuable. There's nothing worse than having a portfolio that doesn't feel modern. That font here is really friendly. And immediately, photo, again, great for personal portfolios. And we've got a tagline. Got home, contact, YouTube jobs. Brilliant. We scroll down, we get referrals. This is the first time we've seen an actual referral with a link to the video being embedded. Nice. This is the first video you're showing on your portfolio, so it's got to pass the test. If this was me, I'd be choosing a video that has a really strong hook. I don't want potential clients to have to wait to 30 seconds to a minute to feel the pacing of a video or get to a really good part of it. This seems to be a strong start.
I have one $1 to survive off of all Coachella weekend. And I don't even have a wristband to Coachella. So I'm relying on other people to not only get me into the festival, but also give me water and food once I'm in.
I think that's really good. What does this tell me? Good at pacing, good at sound design, good at storytelling, showcases some good video effects as well. I think that's a great first video on a portfolio, and it's a very YouTubey style. This portfolio definitely appeals to YouTubers looking for an editor, maybe less corporate people, but that's fine. And again, we get another referral. Maybe I'd summarize this a bit. If you could sort of take the 3 best parts of that quote, it could be good. And here is our first problem with the portfolio, and it's not even Nicole's fault. First video on the featured is private. Staying up to date with all your videos is very, very, very difficult. So let's give Nicole the benefit of the doubt here. It could have been re-uploaded because of a copyright issue, but the fact is that it's on the portfolio. This is a display of your work as an editor, and it's not there. But then you look at the rest and look, we're seeing some really recognizable faces here. I'm not sure you could get much more like meta YouTube than this. We're seeing Fortnite gaming YouTubers, 24 Hours, Arrows, Mr. Beast. If I'm like an American YouTuber looking for somebody to edit my challenge video, I'm looking at this and my eyes are like, badon, badon, badon. This is incredible. Like I said, I know Nicole, and I actually think she's underselling herself here, because we can see a video here with Cypher PK, who started Oni Studios. Now, I know Nicole was full-time at Oni Studios. I would have that plastered in my portfolio. That's a great thing to say. To say I've got this experience working for this amazing, massive esports corporation. I was a full-time editor. I've got experience in teams, experience in a professional environment. But the only thing to showcase for it is a video from Cypher's channel. Your portfolio, it needs to sell yourself. You shouldn't be too modest, to be honest. Editors should not dissolve themselves of any credit, and I think Nicole might be doing that here. It might be down to NDAs, it might be down to external reasons, but if it's not, get that on your portfolio. Showcase yourself the best way you can, because that's something that Nicole should be proud of. It's something that's appealing to people who want to hire an editor. It's something that makes you stand out. That's your USP. And as we scroll down, there's a lot more featured videos here. I love this, shorts. It's so difficult to feature shorts because they're 9:16, and your portfolio is this big 16:9 landscape, but you also don't want a short to take up the whole thing, because then it's overwhelming. It takes up a lot of screen estate that way. So to get them in like 2 here, embedded into YouTube, it's great. So yeah, a few things that could change on this portfolio, but overall, again, it's a really good personal portfolio. Now we're into a different one. This is the portfolio of Hugh Quinn, and he's gone down a different approach here. It's got its pros and cons. Now, I'm not digging Hugh Quinn out here. This looks quite different to the other portfolios we've seen because it's a playlist on YouTube. Does it sell him as a personal creative, a personal brand? No, but the positives of this are we see recognizable faces, we see views, and it's easy to click on. But the other portfolios, we can see the total amount of views, but here we can see immediately 800,000, 500,000, 300,000, 1 million views. So yeah, it might not be flashy, it might not say loads about Hugh Quinn as an individual, but it does say that he can achieve massive numbers. Another thing which can be underrated is, look, we're seeing 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That showcases he can work on bigger projects. That's something very valuable for bigger YouTubers, because the longer your video is, the more adverts you can get on it, the more revenue that you earn. And hiring video editors is one thing. You could hire the most cracked video editor, but you see a 15-second clip of their work on Twitter. That doesn't mean that they can do 30 minutes. That's a skill in itself. And from this portfolio, yeah, it's different. It's a bit unorthodox. It's maybe not as professional, but it's effective and efficient in showcasing his strong points if you want to read between the lines. And if you're somebody who sees numbers and goes, Bosh, that's my guy, this is a really effective portfolio for that. He is also honest here. He does say, some videos here I've only had a small hand in making, i.e. the videos on Sidemen Reacts. Oh no, you only did a bit on Sidemen Reacts. You know, that's like saying I only built the door on the Sistine Chapel. That's a bit David Brent, but you get my point. It's different, it's got its pros, it's got its cons. I like it. Next we have Slasher Edits. And this one for me is a bit confusing off the bat. And this is the tagline that confuses me. This is a website, bear in mind, and it ends with just DM for epic edits. Where DM? This is a website, this is a landing page. We have a show reel. We haven't seen a show reel yet, and they're a really effective way of showcasing your best work in a short amount of time.
I am Slasher and I specialize in gaming style edits. So here's some of my mind-blowing edits.
just get to it. That would be my advice. My advice would be like, don't explain what a showreel is, or we're going to get to the edits in a second. Just get to them, highlight them. And then the highlights are like unlisted clips that he's done. So it's probably not the most effective way. You know, maybe this is just an editor in their infancy a bit. Reels edit, it's not central, it doesn't stand out to me, and it's not clear where to contact this person. So this is a portfolio that probably needs some work, maybe a bit more thought put into it. But look, everybody's been there at some point, and look, if he just improves his showreel, the good thing about being a new video editor and having a showreel on your portfolio is that you don't actually need to have an experience or history with clients, because you can make your own work. Here's a tip: if you're a new editor and you've got a portfolio that maybe feels a bit less polished, like Slasher's here, you don't have to do a 10-minute edit to put 10 seconds in your showreel. All you have to do is have a 10-second edit to put into your showreel. So make your own work. You probably only need like 10 to 15 short edits showcased in your showreel. So get that perfect, put that in your portfolio, and suddenly you don't look like a new editor. You look like an editor who's been editing for years and has some great highlights. So that would be my notes to Slasher. And I'm not digging him out. I hope I don't seem too mean there. It just needs a bit of work. And now here we're looking at our next portfolio by Visual Wizard. And this one, I mean, wow, this is definitely the most visually modern portfolio that we've seen. It feels very Web3. Like I've said already, your landing page is a representation of you as an editor. So when I see this, I'm getting Web3 vibes, I'm getting crypto vibes. I want to see some clean motion graphics work. I want to see talking heads with After Effects work. I want to see full-on animations. I want to see graphs. I'm imagining some glows, modern colors. What I don't want to see, wow. Okay, anybody recognize that hyphen? You know, I've been saying that there's generic taglines. From social media reels to professional promos, ChatGPT dash, editing that drives results. I'm seeing this as a client, and it doesn't matter how good your work is, I haven't seen it yet. I see that hyphen and I'm like, not put the effort in to come up with an original tagline. So I'm not impressed. Hopefully the work can redeem itself. And it's one easy fix, by the way. If you want to use ChatGPT, use ChatGPT. Hide the fact that you've used ChatGPT. There are tells. That dash is recognizable from a mile off. You need to hide it. Even change the tagline. But if you don't want to do that, just change it out for a normal dash. It's not that difficult. Anyway, like I said, I am expecting some Web3, some crypto, some modern edits here. So let's have a look. Again, like Slasher, we have an unlisted YouTube video here. But it's a talking head and it's called Finance Management. So his website does seem to match the type of work he does. Really smart. Let's give it a watch.
What if I told you that keeping your money safe in the bank is actually one of the most dangerous things you can do with it?
This is exactly what I expected when I saw his page. This is really nice motion graphics work. This is modern, this is money, this is motion graphics. There's not really been a better alignment, apart from Marley's portfolio maybe, of this is the landing page, this is the vibes it gives off, and it matches the work that I do or the type of editor I am. This is really good. He's redeemed himself from the ChatGPT dash. He's clearly a creative person. Just showcase that. People might not give you a chance if they see that, and that is true. It's blunt, but it's true. And into our last, this is Kaizen's. Now, Kaizen, I know from Twitter already, he's an incredible editor. He might not like me saying this. This landing page doesn't scream amazing editor to me. The font feels old, maybe not the most modern, but I'm sure when I check out the work, it's gonna sort of give me the opposite vibe. It's loud is what it is. But it's incredible work. It's amazing motion graphics, it's modern, it's a clean edit. It really is, but it doesn't give the same vibe as his landing page. I make videos so premium, you start to look like the go-to guy in your niche. That's a good tagline. Because if you're good at doing this motion graphics sort of work, you are gonna work with a lot of people in the faceless YouTube channel scene. And the word that sort of gravitates to the most is niche. As Americans will say niche, which I hate. So he knows his audience there. It's a really good tagline. It doesn't feel generic. Yeah, if we check out this edit here, look how modern it looks compared to the sort of old-fashioned font that he's got going on in his portfolio. If you're a great editor like Kaizen is, there's a better way of showcasing that. I'd maybe just put like 10, 20 more minutes into just updating the formats and the way that the text and stuff looks on his portfolio. But the work sort of speaks for itself with him, which is sort of sometimes all that you need. If you're that good of an editor, then great. Some really great portfolios. Thanks for sending them in, everybody. If you want to get involved like this, I've got all my links in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, please subscribe. Thank you.